one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
This story comes to us from Oregon Live. The Portland protester known as the Birdwoman for her feathery getup has been acquitted. How about that? In a scuffle outside the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility that rocketed a right-wing reporter to the attention of President Donald Trump. A Multnomah County jury cleared costume demonstrator Angela L. Davis of second-degree disorderly conduct and offensive physical contact with Nick Sorter, a name you might know, who was pushed into a concrete ditch outside the ICE office in South Portland on October 2nd. Both Sorter, 27, and Davis, 49, were arrested that night, but prosecutors speedily dropped the case against the conservative commentator Nick Sorter. His arrest drew national hue and cry. President Trump subsequently invited Sorter to the White House, writing in a text message to Sorter that, "We're behind you 100%. According to national media reports. Now, the misdemeanor trial in Judge, I'm going to try this, Chanponi Senlapasai's courtroom occurred in a much smaller frame, with senior prosecutor Kevin Deemer acknowledging that Davis wasn't one of the masked figures who actually pushed Sorter into the bioswale, poked him with an umbrella, or engaged him in a 4-second long fistfight. Instead, the state contended, that's Deemer, that Davis chased Sorter with an orange stick. Deemer whammed it into a desk to demonstrate its supposed dangerousness at one point, while a defense attorney termed it a floppy costume prop. Davis did not testify, but bystanders recorded her telling Sorter to approximately speaking, "flap off," and command her left-wing protesters caught up in the fray to get behind the bird. What Miss Davis did that night was not the crime of the century. They're not even the most serious crimes we see in the videos, but they're crimes nonetheless, said Deemer to the jury of 5 women and 1 man during closing arguments. On the witness stand, Sorter said he wore no press badge that night and had remained incognito while recording the protest when his camera ran out of power and he decided to head back to his hotel. He said he was spotted before he could leave. He said, "It only takes one person yelling your name," Sorter testified. "I had nobody to back me up." A left-wing protester who'd been living at the ICE encampment for weeks, Amanda Sieb, testified for the defense that Sorter had been antagonizing the crowd throughout the night and engaging in physical scuffles. During a 90-minute cross-examination, Nick Sorter denied fighting anyone, suggesting he'd made defensive shoves against people trying to steal his phone. Defense attorney Benjamin Scissors said that Sorter had a financial motivation to testify, highlighting the federal lawsuit that Sorter has threatened stemming from his arrest. In a tort claim that says Sorter will seek $10 million from the city, he accused Portland, Oregon, and its police force of a long-standing pattern and practice of hostility toward conservative political viewpoints and demonstrable tolerance, sympathy, or coordination with Antifa. Portland, Oregon is a liberal city. That's true. Said he has 10 million reasons to exaggerate his role as a perceived victim, said Scissors. Angela Davis is not guilty because there is no collective guilt in our system. The jury agreed and acquitted Davis on both accounts. The verdict matches another recent case where a jury found no wrongdoing by a right-wing live streamer who knocked someone's phone to the ground. Another woman accused of striking Sorter with an umbrella that night, 44-year-old Son Yi, pleaded guilty to second-degree disorderly conduct in November. The only provision of the punishment is to stay several blocks away from the ICE facility for 1 year. So, here we got, they're just trying to get everybody in this one, and Angela Davis, of course, not guilty, acquitted, I should say, because, well, You know, it's okay to flap at people. Flap off. I had to get that in there. But Nick Sorter, what do you think about him? I want to hear from everyone that knows about Nick Sorter. I want to hear what you have to say about him and President Trump inviting him to the White House for taking on left-wing protesters at an ICE facility.